Welcome to Endurance Noise Daily. I am Andy Noise, and today is August 21st, 2020. California is still on fire. We have so many fires. It's super smoky here. You can actually hear it in my voice. It's 5:15. We're going to try and go out and do some miles. Then possibly going to go do some door dashing, and then who knows what else. I've got a 12-hour race tomorrow, virtual race, personal peak, so I'm kind of resting up for that. Who knows how much I'm going to do on that, but I'd like to try and get in, a marathon, 30 miles. We'll see. So some endurance noise. Speaking of FKTs, which is what I'm going to be doing tomorrow, I'm going to attempt to do an FKT around Bakersfield, doing the going from Beach Park to the Four Directions High School, east, west, north, south. And if I ride it out, it looks like it's about 26 miles or so. But at FKT that just recently happened, Ginger Runner reports that Dylan Bolin just did the Wonderland Trail in 16:58:41, which beats the old record, which was by Gary Robbins. There was an excellent video on YouTube about that, and so it's definitely kind of fun to watch these FKTs, which are happening quite often. Speaking of the FKT guy, Harvey Lewis, of course, he's now recovering. Like I talked about the other day, he's going to be running a 100-miler this weekend, the Burning River, and he says one of the ways his recovery works is he does a Run-commute to work, which I've always enjoyed watching him. And of course, he lives in Ohio, so I'm sure he's got some difficult conditions. Snow in the winter and humidity in the summer. He says, follow an ultra marathon or an event where you really push yourself to do an active recovery. Listen to your body. If it feels like you could injure yourself, walk, but do something active. It will stimulate a quicker recovery. And if you listen to our podcast with the Jester, he often talks about how on Mondays, the day after his 100 milers, he always goes out for a walk, and it just definitely helps him keep going. It sounds like Harvey has a streak. So following the 146 miles of the FKT Badwater, he had to walk 11 miles back down the mountain. And I did 1 mile to keep my run streak that same day right before midnight. After that, I had a lot of days of only running 1 or 2, 3 miles with added walking whenever possible. And always wise to do it at a relatively easy pace, just like I'm going to be doing out here with the smoke in the air. Just back things down. You got to look at the conditions, or look at the conditions of how you are. And he says, you'd be amazed how much quicker you recover combining it with more good sleep. And of course, he's a vegan himself, so he does a more plant-based nutrition. So I hope he does well at that 100. Speaking of history, back in 2016, the Rio Olympics, on this day, Matt Centrowitz won the first 1500. It was the first 1500 win for the United States. It's way back in 1908 when Mel Shepherd won in London. It's interesting, in 2016, I kind of just swore off television completely. And it was the first time in my life that I can remember not watching an Olympics. I'm an Olympics junkie, winter and summer, but 2016, I didn't watch it. So almost thinking, boy, maybe I shouldn't have watched the Olympics, because then we will do well in the distance events. Then ended this podcast episode with a little thing from Stephanie Bruce, who runs for Hoka up in Flagstaff. She says, a common misconception among runners is thinking they need speed for a better kick at the end of the race. Harsh reality is you need to get to the last lap of the race before you worry about having a kick. If you're not strong enough to keep the pace, your kick is secondary. And that's the same thing, like often people come up to me, when they know I coach, and they ask me and they say, yeah, I got to work on my speed. And I always say, you don't need to work on your speed. You have plenty of speed. The problem is you don't have the strength to maintain the speeds you already have. And the only way you're going to get the strength is to what me and Block are going to be doing shortly, is go out and put in those easy recovery miles and build strength, so that when you do the faster paced work, you have that already inside you. So as always, which I'm trying to do, as you can tell my voice, stay healthy, be boring, not epic.